All right. Well, welcome back to another edition of our YouTube Live that we're going to do every single week here on YouTube. So we're trying to do this, like we mentioned last week, every week on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to talk about everything that there is to know about San Diego, everything from new developments, new restaurants, openings and closings, and real estate, obviously, since we are real estate agents. Yeah. This is kind of what we do for a living, but we do like to keep up what's going on in San Diego on a daily basis, and we'd like to share it with you guys too, so you guys don't have to.
We got two mics working this time, so hopefully everyone can hear us really well.
We have two microphones going, so please let us know. This is new to us. We're trying to work out a little of the kinks here, so please let us know if you can hear us, number one. And also, if you are tuning in, let us know where you guys are watching from, as we always like to know if you're local here or somewhere throughout the country or the world. So we got a lot to unpack this week.
Yes, we do. There's a lot going on.
We have some new development news in San Diego. We have some new restaurant and openings and closings. Unfortunately, we have a lot of those, I feel like, over the last year.
I agree.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about a little bit what we're seeing in the real estate market early in the year. February is kind of, I always say, kind of the kickoff to spring selling season here in San Diego. So we'll see how hot the market is right now. It's definitely, in the last 2 weeks or so, I've definitely felt things pick up a little bit. So we'll talk about that, and we'll kind of expect what to expect as far as home prices here in the new year. So, okay, so we're gonna, like we do every year, or every week, we're gonna, the whole 2 weeks that we've done this is hey, Deb's in the house. Deb's
Hi, Deb.
Back. Hopefully you enjoy our YouTube lives again, Deb. We haven't done these in a while, so we're trying to get back on a regular scheduled program here. Okay, let me get up here and share our screen, and we can jump in here. Hopefully it works.
It will. I think you say that every time. Every time as you're...
Well, we had a few times in the past
that
when
it did not work. You're right.
So this was a different...
So now you have to say, I hope it works. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with restaurants and just local happenings first, and then we'll kind of work our way through there. Kind of try to have like a little routine on this one each and every week. So this was pretty big news, at least if you live or like to go downtown. Tom's Watch Bar in downtown San Diego, actually in East Village, will be opening in time for opening day for the Padres.
For the Padres, right.
Have you ever been to Tom's Watch Bar in another city?
I have not. And have you been to one?
I've been to the Los Angeles one.
Okay, so is this like some groundbreaking new idea, or is it really just is it a bar with lots of TVs?
So they have 150 TVs apparently. This one I don't think is going to be as big. This is where Social Tap used to be, right outside of Petco Park down there. Yeah. And now the one in LA is quite large. It's right next to Crypto Arena downtown. And I actually watched a Padres playoff game there this past year. And that place was 2 levels, lots of TVs. Okay. And their big thing, I guess, I'm not sure if it's for all of them, they try to get your food out in under 8 minutes.
Okay. See, now that's, I think, an interesting sort of talking point, because otherwise I'm like, that just sounds like a sports bar.
Like Buffalo Wild
Wings. How are there, right, exactly. How are there even that many sports to watch?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, well,
for 150 TVs,
I think it's usually a lot of the same. Like if it's
just all on
Super Bowl
multiple.
or Padre game.
Okay, I mean that's what I would assume.
So you can watch it all on.
I was curious if they had like curling or highlight on.
They probably have that on a few TVs, maybe back in the corner somewhere.
That's fine. But so they get your food out in 8 minutes or less. I love that. So that would lead me to believe that the menu might be a little bit limited.
Actually, the menu is supposedly, I mean, they have like this French dip sandwich that I had when I was up there, and it was delicious. They had ahi poke tower.
Sounds good.
And then all your traditional favorites like nachos.
Bar food. Okay.
So I feel like it's slightly better bar food. Okay. Sports bar food. So if you've ever been to a Tom's Watch Bar, please let me know, because it's a pretty cool place to check out. So it's said to be opening before the season at Petco Park, just outside Petco Park. Okay, so this one is just because I really like pizza. Sisters Pizza opens Little Sisters in San Diego's North Park, and they're going to open another place called Twin Sister. Oh, which my wife would like that one, since my wife is a twin sister.
Tell me about it. You love pizza.
I've actually never tried Little Sisters Pizza, but I've seen this on the top 10 list of pizzas in San Diego all the time. So if you've tried Little Sisters Pizza, please let me know, because I've been anxious. Because I think the other one was down in like South Park, Golden Hill area, I think, and now there's going to be one up in North Park. So if you are a pizza connoisseur like myself, maybe I'm not, since I haven't tried this one before, but I do love a good pizza. Yeah. So
I'm excited to hear about any new restaurants, because I feel like we've been hearing about so many closing. I feel like there's been some, like, I don't know, a lot of health code violations.
There has been like a few of those.
Vermin issues.
I've heard it like multiple places in Rancho Penasquitos recently
with vermin.
I don't want to I'm not trying to hurt businesses here, but there have been a few locally here that I've heard of closings for at least temporarily closed.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit more local to us. Badass Coffee in Rancho Penasquitas is closing its doors on this Sunday, I think February 9th. I guess Super Bowl Sunday, last day in business.
This is sad to me. This is very sad to me because I think that this is a cool coffee shop. I love that it has a little bit of a different spin. It was like Hawaiian coffee sort of theme, but they had really good breakfast sandwiches that were kind of different than your run-of-the-mill sort of Starbucks. And
I just read online that the company is actually expanding by 25 new restaurants in coffee shops in 2025.
Badass Coffee is?
Badass Coffee.
Also, just this location in particular.
Just this location. I'm not sure if these are franchise. I mean, I think this one is like locally owned, so I'm not sure if they just
but there are other Badass.
There are other Badass Coffees. I don't know of any other ones in San Diego that I know of. Do you?
I think there is another one.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen it in San Diego, so
you know what? Maybe I saw it up in like Temecula area.
So this one, Badass, will be closing on Sunday, but they will be opening a Better Buzz apparently there this summer at the same location.
How do you guys feel about that? Better Buzz seems to be just taking over. I feel like every other month I see
this is going to be like the 21st location in San Diego, which I thought I didn't realize there were that many.
I did realize that there were that many because like I said, they just keep popping up. And you know what? The comments that I read, people
do not love it. From what I've noticed.
People do not love it, and people are not excited. At least the people that are commenting on our Instagram page. If you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure you do follow us on Instagram. Thank you. People were not super happy. I would say flavored water. People were calling it like not even real coffee.
Dessert coffee, basically.
Dessert coffee, overpriced.
Which I will say the best drink ever is like a dessert.
That is.
I do like it, but to have it every day.
That's also technically not even coffee. Isn't that espresso mixed with their best drink ever powder?
Yeah, it's like vanilla.
Yeah,
powder?
A vanilla powder, which I was told was dairy free, but is not in fact dairy free. In case anybody else cares
Double check the ingredients.
Check the ingredients. Yeah. So I mean, I kind of get it. People, I like Better Buzz just fine when you're in the mood for something specific like that. But then I don't know if I call it really coffee.
No. Yeah, I mean, mixed emotions, but because I did like Badass Coffee. It's got a good inside. You could bring your laptop in there and work from there too.
A nice place to sit.
It was also pretty much $1 cheaper because I like a nice iced vanilla latte.
Yes, you do.
And at Pete's over here, it's $5.85, and at Badass Coffee, it was only $4.75.
That's a great deal.
So I was a big fan of that. I think Better Buzz is probably
just
the same, if not
expensive.
More.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it's going to be a great addition to the area. Based on what we had before.
I'm sure it will get. I'm sure. You know what? I could see. There's a high school right up the road. I could definitely see high schoolers being a little more interested in
over like Starbucks or something.
Yeah,
like that.
or over Badass Coffee. Actually, I would say. Better Buzz has an acai bowl that they have some different sort of breakfast sandwiches. They have, what else? They have like energy drink. At Better Buzz. Yeah. Okay. And I feel like maybe teenagers.
What is your favorite coffee place in San Diego? Do you have one?
Yes. It's called Achilles Coffee Roasters.
The one they just opened.
They just opened another location. Yes,
right.
They did. Okay. So they have a Solana Beach location. They have.
That's your favorite? I didn't know that. Okay.
I love it. I don't want to put myself on blast here, but it's the food. The coffee is delicious, and they have tons of like.
What kind of food do you get?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
The breakfast sandwiches are so good.
Okay.
They are so good. The eggs are cooked perfectly. Everything's like made to order. It's delicious. The food is so good.
Okay.
And the coffee is delicious too.
I have not tried the Achilles coffee before, so I will have to try that soon.
They have delicious lattes. They have great like pour over. So if you're just looking for like my husband just drinks like black coffee, they have like 12 different, like you want the Guatemalan roast, the Ethiopian, the special Achilles blend, which is really good. They have all different types and they're delicious.
Okay, good to know. I've not tried it.
Yeah.
Okay, another spot over in Poway, a Hawaiian fresh seafood opening third storefront in Poway. I've never been, but apparently people seem to like it from the reviews I saw.
Yeah, and if they're opening their third storefront, they have to be doing something right. I feel like every time you bring something up, I'm like, this is right up your alley. But honestly, like you love poke.
I love poke.
Like so much.
Yes. It's like my favorite. I could eat it like every day, but I don't think it's that good.
Oh, is it good for you?
Like
it's
mercury and stuff like that. So, but other than the mercury.
Other than that, I think it's pretty good for you.
So
yeah.
I do like that.
That's
so
right.
I thought that was
high in protein.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another thing. We have Valentine's Day coming up here in the near future.
We do. Don't forget.
Yelp
people.
loves to put out their lists of the top 100 restaurants, most romantic restaurants.
Yes, or best date night restaurants.
Is that what it was?
Best date night restaurants. And then I tried to do the deep dive to sort of find out why these are qualifying as date night restaurants, and they are supposed to be sort of romantic.
And number one on the list, this is for the whole country of the United States of America.
Yelp spans the entire United States.
The number one date night location in all of the United States is in San Diego, in Ocean Beach, which I thought was impressive.
Point Loma, Ocean Beach.
And I've actually been to this restaurant.
I
always forget if I pronounce this incorrectly. Cesarina, which is an Italian restaurant.
Cesarina.
Yes.
Give us your.
I'm probably wrong.
No, I bet you're right. I mean,
so that was number one ranked date restaurant in all of the United States.
And I think it's the food is delicious. The ambiance is nice. It's, you get a lot of it's cozy and romantic, which means it has sort of dim lighting.
It feels
has
a little
nice,
hip,
Yeah,
they let me in,
right?
but
they let you in, so I made a mistake, but that's okay. I'll give them that one. They make this amazing at your table side at your table tiramisu, which is cool, and that'd be fun to share with your date for Valentine's Day. So.
But yeah, it was one of definitely the best Italian restaurant I've had in San Diego. So
I love to hear
definitely make reservations because it is tough to get into.
Yes. So who knows if we're even too late in telling you now? Maybe 2 weeks out, you've still got some time.
Well, yeah, Valentine's Day.
There was a second restaurant in San Diego that was also on. That's Wolf in the Woods.
I never even heard of Wolf in the Woods until I saw
this. Wolf in the Woods is sort of it's Mission Hills area on your way downtown if you're coming from the obviously North County, like we would be. It's sort of like a tapas setup, also has sort of a romantic ambiance, so nice for date night. And I love tapas for date night.
It's listed under wine bars, modern European.
Yes. So I mean, good job, San Diego, for having two of those.
And then we had a third one too. There was a third one on here somewhere.
The Goat and Vine.
Oh, that's Temecula, Goat and Vine. But there was one down here.
That still counts.
And then
Temecula counts.
Siamo Napoli. So where's that one located? That is in.
I think people think Italian is romantic.
I guess they.
I think it harkens back to Lady and the Tramp, where you share your bowl of pasta.
So 37. This one is over in, where is that? Near North Park-ish area, Normal Heights area. So there's another spot. So if you're looking for date night out for Valentine's Day or some other night, these are three excellent places to check out
in San Diego. Way to go.
A couple other news related notes. And if you guys have any questions about, things coming to San Diego or opening and closing or real estate, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll get to those at the end.
Yes. You have the scoop.
I thought this was interesting. Robo taxi company Waymo is testing out their cars in San Diego right now.
Yeah.
Does not mean that they're going to for sure come to San Diego because they are pretty prevalent up in the LA, Santa Monica area. Mm-hmm. But this is a self-driving taxi that would take you around San Diego.
I think I have heard pros and cons. At least if I've watched a couple horror stories on TikTok where the passengers stuck in the car and the car is just looping
around the airport in circles or something like that.
Going in circles, and they're on the phone with Waymo customer service. I am stuck in this car and it won't stop just driving in circles in the parking lot. But then on the other hand, you got some very satisfied customers up in the Santa Monica area, like you're talking about.
I've had friends driving. I still am a little hesitant to drive.
You know what? I am too. I am as well. I probably need to just get past that and get with the could be the future.
Have you ever seen the movie Demolition Man? They were all in driverless taxis.
You know what? I was going to say or iRobot.
Or iRobot. That's true.
The
Same.
Robots revolt.
Or Total Recall, probably. All those futuristic movies.
Yes, right.
So let me know, would you guys go in a driverless taxi? I probably am not there yet, but maybe if they become more prevalent.
Well, not if they keep showing me these TikToks of people stuck in there.
They're probably safer than driving with normal people on the road here, at least in San Diego, from what I've seen. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Downtown San Diego is not super difficult to navigate, I would say. So, maybe a driverless car would have no trouble.
Okay, so we're out of the restaurant news and things coming to San Diego. This is an insurance-related topic here. So if you have not heard, obviously we've had some fire issues in Southern California here, especially up in LA and a little bit here in San Diego. State Farm has asked for 22% insurance rate hikes after California wildfires. So I guess before, like insurance companies could raise it a certain amount per year, like I don't know, 4 to 6%, something like that, a cap on it.
Yeah.
But now they're asking this state's commissioner to raise it by up to 22%, actually 38% for investment property owners.
Okay, yeah.
Renters was like 15%, but then standard policies 22% increase.
If you're even lucky enough to still hold a policy,
you might not even have State Farm because you probably have been dropped by them. But I still have State Farm at my current house.
You're squeaking in,
and every year I think they're going to drop us.
You never know. That's kind of the way it goes now. But so they have basically said that after the wildfires in LA, they've just the cost that it is going to take to rebuild is going to be so, I mean, dramatic. It's going to be so dramatic, so expensive that they are saying that this is what's necessary.
They said they've already paid out over $1 billion from the Los Angeles fires, but the point of having insurance is in case this does happen,
right?
They pay for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they run out of money, that's obviously one thing. I also think they could maybe cut back on the Patrick Mahomes commercials. And that might save you $20 million or so on that. So that could be another option too.
Wow.
So a little jab at the Kansas City Chiefs this week, since I'm an Eagles fan.
Me as well.
Okay. So let me know what you guys think of the insurance issues here. I mean, we have issues. I talked to my insurance broker because a lot of people have the California Fair Plan here.
Yeah.
And they said that there's California Fair Plan is still issuing policies, still paying out policies. So all the people that have been worried about their coverage will be dropped or they won't get paid out. As of now, it's kind of business as usual. Granted, that could change, I guess, at some point. And I did read if the Fair Plan does run out of money, they would just assess everybody that has insurance in California to help pay for the Fair Plan, which would also kind of stink. But it doesn't sound like anybody is not getting paid out. Granted, it might depend on what insurance company you have. But as of now, I have not heard anybody that has not got the claim fulfilled for house burning down.
And this is just, this isn't new with just the fires this year. This has actually been, I feel like the rate hikes and the people, losing their policies or being non-renewed and stuff, that's been going on, I would say, for about 2 years. Here's when it really started to spike. And we're not the only state. Maybe 3 years, sure. I know Florida's having issues terrible. With this.
Their insurance is even higher than ours for the most part.
During our live last week, we actually had someone chime in and let us know that they were sort of, suffering the same issues as we were with price increases and even having access to insurance coverage.
Yeah.
So
if there's anything good that can come from this virus, is hopefully they figure out a way to do insurance like logically and just, having rates be whatever it costs, like based on your risk and what mitigation factors you have around it. Are you doing brush management? Do you have is your house more?
I don't even know how I feel about the risk assessment though, because some of them it seems really wild. Some of them I feel like they're looking for a reason not to cover you, or they're getting really. I mean,
it's an insurance company. They don't really want to pay out anything.
I know.
So that is going to be a big one over the next couple of years. So we'll keep you posted on that. Okay, some new development news here. So this one, I just made a reel on this today. I posted it this morning.
You were too quick. I
know. I did this one quick. Sorrento Mesa office property is slated to be redeveloped with hundreds of apartments. So if you were familiar with the Sorrento Mesa, Sorrento Valley area, it is mostly office buildings, labs, warehouses, that sort of thing. I don't think there's any apartments over there except for the Three Roots is technically is part of Sorrento Mesa.
And there are some single family homes. There are some neighborhoods sort of tucked in there on the western end.
And those are actually pretty nice neighborhoods.
They are very nice neighborhoods. But then in the middle there, so there's a stretch between the 5 and the 15 commercial. That is all in. Commercial is generous. Yes. I say industrial. This is giant industrial looking buildings.
This building was vacant, apparently, and they sold it for $31 million. So I don't know, how many buildings are like this that are vacant in San Diego that you could sell for $31 million for a vacant, just to be torn down?
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they're going to try to make this area into a more residential if those office buildings are not being used for office. I mean, we do have Qualcomm over there. We have Dexcon.
Sure.
We have
there's
lots of offices.
Yeah, there's definitely a hub.
Great
there's definitely a hub for, on the business side, but I don't think that the infrastructure is built for hundreds of apartments.
No, 400 homes, which means it's probably at least 400 cars for the most part. It's not like there's a train stop right next to it that they can just jump on.
You need transportation for sure.
And I know they've changed the Mira Mesa community plan, but it's going to be like a 20-year period before it gets. They're talking about like some kind of gondola looking thing over there. Mira Mesa is getting crazy.
It's getting wild.
So, I mean, yes, we need more homes, but I don't know if 400 new apartments the best way to go. Hopefully they make them condos so people could at least buy them.
Right? Otherwise, this is just.
I feel like the only thing that's being built right now is all rentals. Which that's only making people like the developers rich, and then people that could. This could be a good first-time home buyer price point if they were actually to sell them.
Yes,
like these townhomes that our office is kind of out of. We're supposed to be for sale, and then the developer came in and bought them and turned them into rentals. So, and this would have been a good first-time home buyer price point, at least for this area.
Yeah,
so
I agree. So my take on that is I think it would be traffic. I think Mira Mesa is lovely. You have Mira Mesa to the east. You have on the 5 to the west of you here in this area. Mira Mesa obviously has shopping and restaurants and schools, etc. But the roadways, there's already traffic there. It's pretty congested.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what the answer is, because what are you going to expand the roadway? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that would be a little bit congested with 400.
Maybe running a train down the middle of Mira Mesa Boulevard, connecting the 5 to the 15.
Oh, yeah. West to east, east to west there. How could you build that?
I don't know if that's is it roadway wide enough?
I have no idea. I am not I don't have my civil engineering or I don't know.
Well, yeah, but then we need a one that goes up to 15. This would be a very expensive project. But I think if you could connect these other, like the whole eastern side of San Diego to more railways, I mean, it probably won't happen, or it won't happen for a very long time, but that would be a possible solution, but probably cost them billions of dollars or something. So and I don't have that. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any thoughts on that project. And then if you guys have any questions about San Diego, the real estate market, new developments, whatever you want, feel free to put it in the comments. We're always happy to.
Or if you're all for the hundreds of apartments coming to the store.
Yeah. Is there any Mira Mesa people out there that are watching? Then let us know, and you can see how if this is a good thing for Mira Mesa based on the comments I saw from people on the Instagram. Not everyone was a huge fan.
No, I mean, people say if it's going to, increase the value of their home, they're all for it. But
I don't know if apartments would add a lot.
It doesn't really work that way with apartments.
Unless they redeveloped that whole area and made it more residential. That's the only way I think they could
But then how do you do that with all the rest of the industrial stuff still has to have a home? I mean,
Qualcomm still going to be over there.
Exactly.
It's a good question.
Okay,
last, actually, one more thing I want to mention after this, but San Diego City Council will reconsider key ADU incentives in an unexpected shift from pro-housing stance. So if you were unaware, California in general has loosened its stance on building ADUs. So as long as you set aside a certain amount for low-income housing. So if you see this picture here.
This picture is wild.
This is a single-family house right here. And there's, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's a
9.
17.
It's like its own apartment complex.
Unit accessory.
Yes. Where was this one? This was over on Claremont. So, and then your neighbors must love you over here. But look at this was kind of like a loophole in the thing that wasn't designed to build apartment complexes in your backyard. Yeah. So they're talking about removing that loophole, or at least changing it slightly so that can't happen. Because the idea wasn't to build a whole apartment complex in your backyard. But it's basically, if you build one, you can build another one for low income housing. Yeah. They're hoping for like 2, maybe 3 at most, not 9.
Right. So that's 17.
I'm all for more housing, and I do like ADUs. I think they are a good way to,
I think so too.
If you have an extended family that are parents living with you, I think it's a great option.
I mean, San Diego's an expensive place to live. If you've got enough space to build an ADU that you could be pulling in that kind of income from a rental property there, I say more power to you, especially in places like North Park, which is super walkable, and you have lots of people that would love to rent there.
And maybe places that we don't need a car as much.
Exactly.
Like North Parks, South Parks, or Claremont even. But I know there's people building ADUs over in Rancho Penasquitos over here. Usually they're just building one, which is fine. Right. But some of them are like 2-story ADUs. So I wish I could fit an ADU on my property, but
I know.
You can't.
I was actually looking at this article thinking like, wow, that person has a lot that was big enough to, but in
that lot is quite large right there.
That is quite large. So that looks to be probably what, like a 1,100 square foot house. And then you have, a lot that big.
These 2-story ADUs in the back that are bigger than the actual single family house. So
yes.
I feel like maybe they make a rule that you can't build an ADU larger than
the actual home.
That could be a nice little addition to that. But no one asked us, so
they didn't. They didn't ask us.
And some other news. This one is not in the. Hold on, let me change this out. How do I stop sharing the screen? Don't mind me. Okay. Another thing that I've heard recently. So we are over in the Torrey Highlands area, and the areas surrounding this. There's a bunch of empty lots over here that were meant for like a mixed-use shopping center over here, office building, which was Alexandria. And then over here, there's supposed to be another one by Sistera, and then the plot overland over by our freeway over there. We're all supposed to be some sort of office space or commercial space.
Right.
I've heard recently there's going to be a meeting at the planning board, Rancho Penasquito's planning board tonight that I'm going to try to attend. So maybe we could talk about it next week. And they might change those into residential. Like either apartments, probably apartments, knowing what these developers are doing. They're only building apartments. I feel like 2 years from now, we're going to have a surplus of apartments which will probably bring rents down, which could be good for people.
But it won't house families as easily.
No.
I mean, how are you going to have a family of 4, a family of 5 in a 3-bedroom apartment?
And people want to be able to buy affordable housing.
Right.
Build condos that start at $600,000 versus only houses that are $2 million and just a bunch of apartments.
Right.
So I think that's just a very frustrating thing for a lot of people here.
You were saying they're proposing that for Please, not the one over there.
That's rumored. This is
a small space we're talking about, people. This is not a large space. I could only imagine there's no way you'd have room for single family homes over there. Or if you did, it would be like one street's worth of single family homes.
I'll find out more information tonight, and I will relay that information along the way. I mean, those could be just like a row of townhomes over there too.
Okay.
It's not necessarily apartments, but that is the rumors that I've heard from people in the area. So
some rumblings.
And there's going to be supposedly something at a non-agenda item at the planning board meeting tonight. So I'm going to check that out, and I will relay that information to you guys. So that's pretty much all the news we had for this week. So if you guys have any last questions for us, feel free to put them in the chat. And if you guys do not follow us on Instagram, we are posting almost daily there, maybe 4 or 5 times a week about things going on in San Diego. I post them occasionally on YouTube as well, depending on the topic. But please follow us along there. Our handle is northcounty_SD. So check us out there, and you can follow along with everything that is going on here in San Diego. So not a lot of questions today.
No,
so
they don't want to know. It's okay.
Yes.
We were just so.
I know we were full of information.
We were full of information. We had all the answers.
And let us know if there's like a better time for us to do these lives too, because 12 o'clock in the middle of the day on a Wednesday maybe not be perfect for everybody.
Right.
But this is the time that could kind of make it work for us. So but if we can change it in some way to get more people to participate, we'd be happy to look at that too.
Yes, that's right.
Any last thoughts, Courtney?
No, you can see you've got a comment there.
Okay, we got Mr. Christopher Sohai, who stopped by my office last night. Chris, how are you, sir? Any thoughts on the city council pausing the ADU program moving forward? We were just kind of talking about the ADUs. I think building ADUs is a good thing, but I don't think building like 10 ADUs in one person's backyard is a good thing. So I think they just need to amend the laws rather than completely get rid of them.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Maybe Chris has the answer for this too.
Chris,
when you're building this type of thing where you've got 17 units or 15 units in your backyard, and then you sell to who? Say you don't want to live there anymore. You're that sole owner of the home and the property. You've got to have a really particular buyer.
Yeah, it would be like an investor.
It would be an investor.
Be probably a person that just lives there.
So then you end up renting out that house in the front as well as renting.
Or someone lives in the front house and then rent, but it would definitely be like an investor type person.
Yeah.
And they're talking about potentially being able to sell off individual ADUs. That's not happening yet, but eventually if they have access, like they have their own driveway or something like that, certain lots you're able to do that.
Yeah.
But as of now, I mean, that would add a lot of value to people. But having, selling off 6 different units in the backyard would be a little, I mean, it's like an apartment complex in your backyard.
It is in your backyard. And then, I was even thinking about parking, access to those apartments. You don't have a separate road. You've got a neighbor next to you.
And they're either that or they're parking all on the street and there's no street parking. So there's a lot of issues with this plan. That's why they need to, they made this law to hopefully make things better, but then people always find loopholes around these things.
Exactly.
So I think
exploit the.
You have to almost put it out there and see what loopholes that people figure out and then adjust to them, unfortunately, which is not the best way to do it, but people always seem to find a way. Yeah. So thanks, Chris. Chris stopped by on his bike last night in my office. So
Nice.
Let's see. Deb, thanks for all the info. Always a pleasure. Good to see you, Deb. And Chris, it's an ADU bonus program that the city fumbled. Yes, I agree. And they're I think they're hopefully trying to fix it, but we'll see how that happens.
Tricky to explain. Yes.
Because if they build a certain amount they can build ADUs, but then they have to build a certain amount of what's called low-income housing ones in addition to it. So, okay, well, I think that's it. We always try to keep these to about 30 minutes, so we're trying to keep that to it. But if there's obviously questions you guys have, feel free to put them out for next week's episode or put them in the chat or the comments, and we can respond to them on there as well. So thanks for tuning in, and I guess catch us next week.
Wednesday?
Next Wednesday.
12
o'clock. Be there.
Here.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.